coming up to the line, being chased, and it was Braden Johnson.
Unbelievable finish.
It was 1/1000th of a second between them.
Green flag in the air. We are racing in the 2020 24 Hours of Daytona.
They go door to door for the feature race lead here on the last lap of the race. Side by side for the race lead in the final corner at Homestead.
Down the back straightaway, 3 wide again for the race lead. This is unbelievable stuff here tonight.
Loma is going to have to be very deep on the brakes, and he is very deep on the brakes. It's side by side through the corner. This is for the win.
It'll be side by side. Davies low, Ottinger high. To the very inside is Garrett Lowe. 4 wide at the stripe. For Audie's win here on this outside line. Neck and neck. Who's going to back out? Does anyone back out?
Verstappen starts to squeeze on the inside, and now he'll try and straight line it. Goes under the apron, drag race to the line. It's so close to call.
Good evening and welcome to the iRacing Esports Network, to our coverage of the NASCAR iRacing Series brought to you by SimSpeed TV. Today we head to Martinsville Speedway, home to the legendary, famous hot dog in NASCAR circles, and home as well to some real bad short track tempers, because we always see some wild action when we go racing at this half-mile paperclip. My name is Ryan Jones, and alongside me in the booth this evening is Sean Ambrose. Behind the scenes is Jay Kennedy, working the cameras and everything else that goes along with it. Sean, we get set to go racing here at Martinsville, and you got to expect plenty of cautions, plenty of wild racing, and a lot of hurt feelings.
Man, I got to talk to you about Martinsville Speedway real quick, though. I got to spit some history, man. Opened in 1947 right here in Ridgeway, Virginia. Folks, it is the first paved oval track in NASCAR history. Remember that, because it's important, because the pavement here is equally important to the race tonight as it was when they first laid it down in 1947. Now, it is the only NASCAR oval track in the entire circuit to have to have asphalt surfaces on both the straightaways and then the concrete over in the turns. That's really kind of what makes this place unique. Of course, its configuration, that paper clip we talk about, makes it rather unique as well. Now, winners of the Cup Series, the Truck Series, Wheel and Modified Tour, when they win races here, they get that old long case clock as a trophy, what we call a grandfather clock, Ryan. And that is, that's a nod to Martinsville famous furniture industry history. They make a lot of furniture there in the woods of Virginia, Ryan. So tonight, though, on track, fast, furious, and probably carnage, honestly. I mean, it's Martinsville. It's the Cup car, and a bunch of pretty good drivers are probably they'll probably want to fight for position, and that'll probably lead to cautions. With about 30 seconds left here in qualifying, Alex McCullum has the pole right now, Ryan.
He does. Garrett Maines is just behind him. Pretty tight field so far. Only 21 drivers opting to put down a qualifying marker. In total, there's 35 drivers ready to go racing here around the famous paperclip. Going racing under the lights at Martinsville, our newest addition to the iRacing service, are the lights here at the paperclip. And we start at just before 8 in sim time in the evening. So as we get through, we'll be fully under the dark skies by the time we finish this race. And this is how they line up with the Coleman Mains on the front row. Blake Neer and Boyd Hogan will start off row 2. Timu Toika and Matt Forcapa off the third row. Patrick Moose, Austin Yarborough, 7th and 8th. Trayton Lapsevich and Danny Hansen, your top 10.
And then Ryan, rolling down to your next 10, it's going to be Seth Noel, Max Cookson going to start 12th. Alex Montanelli. There we go. Adam Jocelyn. James Wenzel starting 15th tonight. Michael Watkins. David Cobb. Joshua Campbell starting 18th. And row 10 going to be Guy Sela and Joshua Adams.
Just behind them, running out the rest of the field, we've got Alex Huffman, Jordan Mackey, Robbie Kennelly, we've got Tanner Love, Wesley Pistol, Pedro Mega, James Mullins, Michael Jean, Zach Hudson, Kyle Edgar, CJ Levere, Mason Stiver, John Brassard, Jake Watson, Michael Baker. Make it your 35-car field then from Martinsville Speedway, little 2 laps behind the pace car to get themselves ready to go, being just a very short lap time. 250 laps ahead of us. It seems like a big number, but the lap times here are around that range of just 18 seconds for your pole time. So yes, I'm going to go by pretty quickly when we get a long green flag run in.
Now, Ryan, for many years, for the entire history of this track, there were no lights up until just a few years ago when the owners of Martinsville decided it was time to install a brand new light system in the infield of this track and around the walls of the inside of the walls here of the infield that run around the track. You've got those lights that shine onto the track that illuminate it. It really lit this place up, and now finally iRacing has given it to us, and tonight we get to premiere it here on SimSpeed with NIS, and I'm really looking forward to it. This is going to be cool.
And of course, the NASCAR Cup Series is scheduled to run their first ever race under the lights at Martinsville this year. Was it this race or the July race that they were, or September, whenever it is, later in the year? I know one of them was supposed to turn the lights, the other one during the daytime.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember exactly what the schedule for that was supposed to be. I know the Xfinity Series was probably going to run there like in late October. And they were supposed to run this race, the Mother's Day race, under the lights. So obviously that's not, I don't think that's happening in schedule. Now, I don't know what their schedule is currently. So, because iRacing, sorry folks, but anyway, Blake Neer, Timu Toyka up front to get us started tonight, Ryan. We got a long race ahead of us. We're going to be at this for a bit, I think.
Well, let's see how we go then with McCullum and Mains on your front row. Pace car's going to dive down just before turn 3 then, and we'll look to head into the restart zone off turn number 4. Who gets that grandfather clock at the end of 250 laps? Let's find out. Green flag in the air from Martinsville Speedway, and McCullum off to a good launch there. Top 3 single file. Watch the field to get single file relatively quickly here. When you get stuck on that outside, very easy to lose a bunch of positions. Blake Neer will finally tuck down in front of Timu Toyka.
Yeah, and Toyka picks up the spot off the start, gets in front of Boyd Hogan, drops him one, leaves Hogan back there to, well, fight with Patrick Boos and that gaggle that's going on behind him. Yarborough, Forkapa, Hansen.
That's side by side, the 51 with Yarborough, with Danny Hansen up on the outside there. Going a bit loose off the exit turn 4. Remember, we go back to the full 750 horsepower configuration for the cars when we go short track racing. So there's a lot of power under that right foot here at Martinsville. So although they might not reach the same sort of top speeds as we get on some of the bigger tracks, there's a spin in the background and the caution's going to come out. I'll finish my point. We might not get the same high top speeds, but off the corners still very easy to break loose with the torque going through the rear tires, and that was David Cole that got loose.
Yeah, trying to get that on the replay here. But Kolb, as you'll see when we go to the replay here, he's going to spin out of the turn. Might have had a little bit of help. Yeah, or maybe a little net code. It was all full close. Unfortunate, yes, but hey, guess what? I think everybody survives this one, and we carry on. It doesn't look like any major damages. We'll see that as we continue on the replay here on Jocelyn.
Just drifted up, didn't he? About half a car's width into that left rear, enough to turn him around. He missed the fence. as he'll carry on his way. Good thing about short track racing is even if you do get some damage, 9 times out of 10 you can keep on going and it won't hurt you as much, and that's because of the relatively low speed around the track. The damage doesn't affect you too much unless you really do something big to your engine. So we often see some pretty beat up cars winning these short track events. We'll see how the field looks at the end of the race. Michael Jeans has brought it down to pit road early on here to just top up the tank. Got to be careful when you pit from the back of the field under caution. Very easy to go a lap down if you start to repair a little bit of damage, because the pace car comes right on by it. James Mullins going to be your lucky dog here, Sean.
Yeah, Mullins going to get the early lucky dog. I see Adam Jocelyn coming back down the pit lane. That's probably going to be for maybe a little bit of additional repair on that car. Not seeing heavy damage, but sometimes the stuff you can't see here on camera might be the worst. So we'll see Jocelyn actually going up on the jack, getting tires on the right sides.
Now remember, it may seem like we're running under caution needlessly here, potentially, Sean, if you're a new viewer to iRacing or whatever, seeing just a sole car but doing 4 or 5 laps under the pace car. Now iRacing goes through a sequence, doesn't it, with the program to ensure that it's fair for everyone. If you're a lap down, you get a chance to pit, you get enough time to do a wave round or a lucky dog, and all of that stuff. So there's always a set amount of laps behind the pace car. And when we get later on in the race and there are cars lap down, they can't pit on the first lap. That's only open to the lead lap cars. On the second lap, lapped cars can pit, and then there's an extra lap or 2 after that, depending on where you are in terms of who's got a lucky dog and wave around and all that sort of thing. So we should get lights out this time by, and we do, and we'll go back green.
We'll go back green at lap 10. And that's of 250 tonight, folks. Yes, 250 laps here around the old clip. Down the back stretch and ready for another start here, Ryan. Maybe we'll get a little bit longer run here. We'll see as the pace car pulls off. It's all yours, bud.
Tricky to restart at Martinsville as you try to accelerate through the corner. If you're further back in the field for the leaders, though, it's no issue. Good restart for Maines. He stayed right with that number 6 car, but he's on the outside. He's going to find it tough to keep himself there, and he can't, so he's going to have to slot in line behind McCollum. He switches to the inside, trying to take it away now, and McCollum leaves him the room. So here we go. Maines try to get by him on the inside, down this front straightaway.
Maine's going to try and make it work, but we're already seeing a couple cars made it work up on the top side. We'll see if McCollum can hold on to it, but Maine showing the speed down below. Can't leave that door open too long. Here comes Blake Neer.
Good move from Maines then. And behind them, big dive. And up on the top side now. Left with nowhere to go, really. Patrick Moose able to get in line just behind Trayton Lapsevich. Austin Yarborough right up on his back bumper as well. Pretty cloudy skies overhead too, as you notice.
Yeah.
Caution out too.
We caught one.
Joshua Adams looks like he kept it off the fence as well.
Ooh.
Probably got some help, or just no, he hasn't. Look at that front left, bit beat up. Yeah, cloudy skies overhead. Even with the nighttime rolling in, it looks very ominous. It would suggest maybe rain coming if it wasn't iRacing. Here we go. Here's the replay.
I think this is all him. Just a little hard back on the throttle there, off exit. He almost got in the back of that car and then gets it settled, but then gets, like I said, probably back to the throttle a little too much. Just spun the tire ever so slightly, and he noses it in there to the inside barrier.
Now, late on in the race, when you get these short runs, you'd expect everyone to stay out because track position is so vital here on these short tracks, especially here at Martinsville. But they are going to have to pit for fuel at some point, and only a couple drivers have come down to pit lane so far in this one. Joshua Campbell there, making his way down the pits at a lowly 56 kilometers an hour. So you gotta really wonder. Another 10 or so laps, you might start to see some drivers into pit lane to start to get their fuel window into shape.
Well, I mean, we stay on the frequency of cautions we're at. I mean, that really won't be an issue, but I don't know if we catch another one here, like you're saying soon. Then yeah, maybe we do see a mad dash. Listen, tires are still king, regardless of the fact that this surface is tough on the tires, and well, because of the lack of banking and the turns, it really scuffs them off bad, melts them down, and you're going to want them, and you're certainly going to have the advantage over anybody else who decides not to take them. So, yeah, I think we get another 10 lap run or so, and then find ourselves on a caution. I think it'll be a mass exodus off track. Everybody will come on in and get those tires.
A couple cars are a couple laps down already. Unfortunately, that's James Mullins and Joshua Adams. Adams is actually too adrift, and he may have actually retired from the race, unfortunately. So we have retirement already. Two drivers running spotters out there. Garrett Maines has got Vicente Salas up top the virtual grandstand. Dustin Johnson helping out Austin Yarborough. Boyd Hogan's got a crew chief and a spotter by the looks of it. David Mercer and Jonathan Platt. Sonny Hanson's got a couple. Joshua Campbell's got John Gibson helping him out. It's something you see, the higher you get in terms of your ability and the organisations you're a part of on iRacing, the more often you see these drivers running with spotters in these races, because they really can be very helpful.
Yeah, I've done quite a bit of spotting myself because I'm terrible as a driver, but yeah, it is beneficial. Certainly, I've done most of mine in a endurance racing capacity. As we get ready to go back here live, Brian, we'll talk more about that later. I'm sorry. Here we go.
Good job for Maines then. He'll lead McCollum down into one. As behind, they almost stack up. Blake Neer trying to fend off Toyka, who's going to try to find a hole just in front of Boyd Hogan. Hogan sticks his nose back up there, and Toyka can't get down there.
I don't know what it is with Fat Timu. He likes it up there on the high side. I've been watching him here these first opening laps, and he seems to prefer that top line. He's been diming it off more than the rest of the drivers, really looking for positions up there, and he's in a heck of a fight right now.
Ooh, and
Sperling
gets shuffled up the racetrack. That'll allow Austin Yarborough. Sorry, not Yarborough. Who is it? Who is it? It's Patrick Moose who gets by him. Then comes Yarborough. Issue for Toyka is the outside lane may come in later on, but right now it's just costing him 10 over 50.
Yeah, that first 10 laps, it actually seemed to work a little bit. He might be able to still make it work, as he seems to have gathered the car back up under. Wow, words are fun, Ryan. But it does look like that might not be the way to go. Now he needs to find a spot to drop into so he stops losing these positions, and I think he just found it. Toyka going to the inside, looked to cross it over.
He tried to do that exact thing that Maines did at the front of the field. Didn't quite work, and as he checked up through the middle, it balked a lot of cars in and behind him. There was a bit of nose-to-tail contact with Lapsevich, Seth Knoll, and Max Cookson. And Lapsevich is going to get to the inside of Seth Knoll. There, through 3 and 4, down this main straight they go, and onto the brakes, hard on the brakes. You use up a lot of them here at Martinsville. You come to this track with the biggest brake cylinders you can find.
Yeah. And look at this battle we're focusing on screen here. Real dogfight they've got going here at the moment.
Oh, that's contact.
He's around.
Goes Lapsevich up into the fence.
Ah.
And that was Seth Knoll just trying to cover off from Max Cookson and forced him a bit shallow. Broke too late, and Lapsevich comes off worse for wear.
Yeah, he definitely comes out worse for the wear there. You know what, though? Good deal. No, I didn't see any damage on the car, really. He might have wrinkled the fender, but that's not important here, Marty.
They were almost 3 wide, weren't they, entering the corner?
Yeah.
And that doesn't work ever at this track. I think the most famous example would be 2013, I'm going to say. The Clint Voyer, Jeff Gordon, and I forget who the third car was off the restart. All took each other out from the lead of the race. It was Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, and Clint Boyer.
All right,
proving that 3 wide doesn't work here.
My vote for Lapsevich is that he's not hurt very badly. I think he's going to be okay. So he's going to be at the back of the pack and in the pits, but he'll be all right.
Speaking of,
yep. Speaking of,
Timu Tweaker has brought it down to pit lane. So too has Blake Neer and McCollum.
so not everybody, but I will tell you that a good portion of the field has come in for a pit stop right now. It's the top 7 out there that have remained on track. Everybody else is in or has been in on that last caution. A lot of history at this track, Ryan. You're maybe a little young to remember some of it, but
As opposed to
I
you.
would say, yeah, yes, as opposed to me. Listen, Ryan, you name the famous driver, I'll tell you if they drove a race here. Okay, so
Your dad.
well, my dad did race here. Yes, a couple of times. So back in the 70s when they used to run the modifieds, what's now the Wheel and Modified Tour, which does run here. My dad got to race here. Yeah, pretty cool track, and all the old modified guys back from the 60s and the 70s. This was the destination point. This is the one everybody circled on their schedule every year to make sure everybody made the trip down to Martinsville. It was fun. It was good, clean, fun. I use the word clean maybe loosely. Loosely.
Clean for a short track, I'll say, eh?
Yeah, definitely. It sits at the base of I'm gonna say hill. It's hard for me to call it a mountain. No, it is a mountain. It sits at the base of a mountain, and that mountain shares some tragedy that's associated with this track and NASCAR, and we're not gonna go into that, but yeah, this is a really, really cool place. If you ever get to the United States, for all of our international friends watching, this is one of the tracks you definitely want to go to as we get restarted.
So it'll be Boyd Hogan on the outside of the front row for the first time tonight. Garrett Maines once again up there, and he gets us going. Good restart from Austin Yarborough, and aggressively dives to the bottom of the racetrack to cover off Patrick Moose. Someone shoots up to the top and going to lose half a dozen spots and gets turned around. That's going to be a big jump up on the back straight away, and that is not good news. That was Joshua Campbell and Blake Neer that went around. 33 did a good job to pull that up on the top, but he's unfortunately going to go right back to the rear end of the field here, Sean.
Boy, that was a mess quickly.
They wrecked up in turn 3 as well. There's Campbell up on the top side of the racetrack, and as he rejoins, just got turned around, clipped Blake Neer as well. That checked up a whole bunch of guys, and they kept on wrecking down into turn 3.
Well, that's going to tear up a lot of equipment. We've been lucky to this point that the wrecks we've seen haven't. Jake Watson there in the middle of that will take another swing at it here, get it from another angle. Jake is going to get right in the middle of this, and it's going to cost him the front end of his car. That pony is, not feeling too well right now after this shot.
Watson. Yeah, just got hit there, didn't he? And,
yeah. Real hard shunt for him, and probably going to end any real good chance of getting a good result here tonight. But that's going to end a real good chance for a real good result for a lot of the drivers involved in that, because there were some hard hits. And, we're already starting to see, quote-unquote, modifieds on track. Open wheel, NASCAR, wheeling, modified cars on track posing as NASCAR Cup cars. So look at those front ends. You'll see them on camera all night. When the wheels get exposed, Ryan, it's modified. Period.
What about a Formula 1 car? Its wheels are exposed.
Modified. It was a modified before it was a Formula 1 car. Trust me.
Okay.
I had a chance to talk modified today. It was a lot of fun. Somebody asked me to be on a podcast, and I said, sure, I'll do that. And we talked modifieds. and iRacing, but we got to talk some modified, so it was kind of cool.
And that podcast was?
That was the Bottom Shot Podcast. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was supposed to pimp myself out there. That was really not a plug. I was just talking about modifieds. But yes, the Bottom Shot Podcast, and that was with a young man named Jeff McConey, who works for Stafford Speedway and does a little commentating for GSRC every now and then. So I'm totally marking out now. Jeez. Yeah, anyway, it was fun. We did like 15, 20 minutes. He asked me to talk. I said, sure. Are you ready to listen? And he let me come on the air. So it warmed me up for tonight.
Shameless plug, Sean. Jeez.
Yeah. Wow. You asked. You asked. All right. So listen, we've got a lot of cars really still in this race, and those are the ones up front that haven't hit yet. I am curious to see how McCollum, Toyota, Wenzel, all those guys that just came in for that stop. I am curious to see how they attack this, or maybe not attack it and just kind of hold back and let these guys lead the pace, try and get some green flag laps in here, because we've really not had a lot of them as we get restarted here on lap 37.
15 copped a whack into turn 1 there from McCollum, who now gets to his inside 2x2 with side-by-side in front of him as well. That's Patrick Moose losing the spot on the high side to Austin Yarborough, who goes by. We make it through a lap just about. There's plenty of contact through the field, and the 21 car is going to get to the inside as well. Matt Carper has come up a lot.
Look who's on the inside.
Yeah.
Fat Timu taking it down on the bottom with those fresh tires. Seth up in the wall there, got a little bit of it. Timu definitely got some bite, forward bite down there on the bottom right now. No topside for him.
Noel is struggling a bit. He's just clipped the fence down the back straight. He's just struggling to keep it straight up on the top. He's finally going to get a chance to slot in line now, right behind Kyle Edgar, who's come up from 29th to 8th place in this race already.
Isn't that crazy? And avoided carnage to get there. How did he do that from all the way back there? I'm going to try not to overuse that word tonight, by the way. I think that's twice. Next time, I have to put money in the swear jar, okay? Riding on board with Matt Forcappa. Am I saying that right? Am I saying Forcappa right? Or am I being too redneck with that? You don't know? All right.
More mountain man than redneck, I'd say, though.
Yeah, I might have offended Ricky Harden out there somewhere. Sorry. Or Jonathan Cadell. Two of my favorite.
Speaking of Forcappa,
anyway.
Mason Stivers a lap down, but he's trying to get his lap back. He's fighting with these lead lap guys here. That's going to hold up that 21. Yep. Guess what? Allows Matimu down to his inside. Takes it away pretty easily. I think Forcappa just rolled up over there and let him go by so he could slot in behind him but not lose 2 spots, because Kyle Edgar's right there trying to make up another spot as well, as Toyka will get by Stiver.
He moved up to this battle though with Hogan. I keep going back and forth. Hogan. I'm sorry, it's Hogan. It's not Hogan. It's Hogan. Garrett Maines, McCollum, still leading the field. Again, remember, well, McCollum's been in for tires, but Maines, Hogan, Yarborough, Patrick Moose back there. They've been out here all 45 laps on those Goodyears.
These guys are 1.4 seconds off the back of Garrett Maines, who's starting to drive away up at the front of this field. And it looks like Austin Yarborough is probably under the most pressure of these guys. Patrick Moose glued to his rear bumper. But it's very hard to pass here at Martinsville, and that's where the short track tempers start to flare, because eventually you just use that bumper to move them up and out of the way. That Timu Toyka's driving for the back of these guys too, and he's joined the battle. While behind, Stiver continues to battle away and try to keep himself up there, and now there's a bit of contact. This Forcappa just moves him up the track.
Timu's got that Chevrolet Camaro steady right now. Doesn't have to overdrive it. He's got fresh tires. They're probably just now really starting to come in. it speaks to the stability of the car right now while everybody in front of him slips around a little bit getting off these turns. He's rock solid at the moment. He'll pick these positions up in a moment. As soon as they start sliding around a little bit more, they'll belong to Timu.
So off the exit of the corner, he'll be able to get the traction a lot easier than the guys in the old tyres. When he applies that throttle, the car will stick a little bit more, and he should get a good run off these corners and carry a bit more momentum through the middle of the turn as well. But still going to get his way.
Sorry, buddy. We faded a little bit back to this log jam we've got back here that's already started with 8th. Yeah, Edgar and Noel Wenzel, we were on board with him. And now it's side by side, Wenzel.
That's Stiver, who's starting to fall back now, unfortunately, but he's still in the lucky dog position. No, he's not. Lapsevich is a sole lap down. Stiver's 4 at Jeff to the lead, unfortunately, but his car looks pretty good, doesn't it? He might have missed the start, potentially. Oh, that's a big what up for Montanelli. Almost lost it through 2. Loses a couple spots. Blake Neer and David Kolb get their way on by him. Speaking of lapped cars, Sean,
yes,
it's going to be an issue for your race leader, isn't it?
Going to be soon, yes. Maine's going to be rocking up on traffic here in just a moment. It's not far off. In fact, I would say at the current pace, probably in the next 3 laps, they're catching quick. Who is that? That's the 33 Guy Sela up there in front of him.
Hey, McCollum's driven right up on the back room, hasn't he? And he was in pit lane, wasn't he? He's one of those drivers that strapped on those fresh boots. And it looks like it's paid off because he's closed it down by over a second since we last checked on that gap, and it's down to 2/10 now as they start to get close to the back of those lapped cars. Just up in front for 3/4 of a lapped car, missing a front bumper.
Yes. Yeah, I think McCollum's happy. He's saving, but not that you really need to save a whole lot of fuel here, but he's in a good spot. Oh, that's a hello, I'm here. And the next one will be, you know what, I'm getting ready to move you out of the way.
The third one is, you're out of the way.
Yeah, that's it. I'm coming through. See you later. That, you know, that's actually been around a long time, but it is attributed to the late, great Teddy Christopher. Speaking of modifieds, one of the great NASCAR modified champions of all time, who was unfortunately taken from us way too soon, just a couple of years ago. And but that saying attributed to him, because that certainly was his style. He moved a few dudes out of the way. Really, really famous guys too. So, right on board here up front. McCollum's got the measure of him, man, but I just don't think he has any interest in getting by, right?
No. Look at that, just up in 3 and 4. That's when the lap traffic really becomes troublesome. A solitary car by themselves isn't much of an issue. It's when you catch a big group of guys that are all fighting each other for position. There's no blue flags, don't forget, in NASCAR. And they're going to want to fight it out between themselves, because they know if they go lap down, they might never get back on the lead lap. They're going to have to fight for the lucky dog, fight to stay on the lead lap. And for the leaders, it becomes very tricky, especially if they're running side by side.
Yeah, well, you're only going to run side by side here for X number of laps before somebody either runs out of tires or runs out of talent. And it's either way, it's not gonna wind up well for you. And now that this new tire model is blowing out tires, if we wind up in a very, very long green flag run, well, I'll tell you what, if there was ever a possibility of blowing out a tire, it's here at Martinsville Speedway.
Kenseth blew a tire, didn't he, on Joey Logano in 2015?
He did, yes. Good memory there, Ryan.
I think that's one of the most famous incidents at this track, isn't it, in real life at Martinsville now?
Well, there have been a lot of famous moments here, but that's certainly, I would say, of recent memory, yes. I believe a man named Earnhardt had a couple of, and not the one with the junior on the end of his name, but the one with senior on the end of his name, had a few dust-ups with a few drivers here once or twice that were pretty legendary.
Oh, we're going to get a caution.
Oh, we caught one. We caught
just
another
up
one.
there.
What happened there?
That's a car on the outside of turn 4.
Yeah.
Danny Hansen.
Yep, Hansen. Contact
That
for Hansen.
Bad news for him, he's going to go a lap down. The leaders went by him as he was stuck there on the track. Looks like there might have been contact here. 23 just up into his left rear, sorry, and he goes around, keeps it off the fence. Now we'll keep going. So everyone dives down to pit lane now, Sean. Let's all get some fresh boots on.
As longest run we've had yet, so why not? Let's go ahead and do it. Everybody come on in. And the sun definitely is finding its way down into the horizon. Yes, the clouds are still heavy, but nighttime really starting to fall on this track.
And it looks good under the lights as it beats down on top of these race cars. Some of the guys for the back in the field having to come in on the second attempt to make sure they actually get out of pits before the pace car. Garrett Maines just beats out Alex McCollum to retain the race lead. Looks like a few stayed out to try and get a wave around. Danny Hansen, Mason Stiver, Trayton Lapsevich, and Michael Baker, in fact, start there on the racetrack. He's on the lead lap. Couple lead lap cars staying out.
So how much are you missing Justin right about now? Quite a bit, I imagine, right? Because, like, he would be full of pro commentary at the moment, lots of stats and figures about these drivers, and I got nothing for you. So, but what I do have is a firm understanding of how absolutely brutal this track can be, because I've seen a lot of races here, a couple in person, but man, this is actually like one of the early tracks that they started showing races from that you could find on a TV somewhere, because someone down in Virginia thought it would be a cool idea to put TV cameras at a track, and Martinsville was the place to do it. And
is this from the history books or something you actually remember seeing?
No, it's something I remember seeing when I was a younger lad. And
30.
You're good. Anyway, it's just a part of the slice of the history at this place, and the virtual stands are full this evening here for this debut here on SimSpeed under the lights at Martinsville. We've had a few cautions, but I think we'll be okay. We'll manage, and we're down to 182 laps to go. How bad can that be? 1 to green. I'm being optimistic, Ryan.
Needs to change. Pace car gets out of the way. Those lap cars are going to have to hurry because we're coming back to the green flag. Garrett Maines leading Alex McCollum to it. Green flag flies. We go back racing under the lights at Martinsville. And the number 5 car almost got turned around by Toyota as he dived down to the bottom. That was Austin Yarborough.
Everybody trying to settle back into that pace they were at just before the caution. Those LED lights starting to fully illuminate this facility. I think it's one of the only tracks with all LED light system, actually, Ryan. I don't know if that's like really important, but it is kind of cool. It uses a lot less energy than most of your tracks would. Hey, you know, we're supposed to reduce our footprint. What can I say?
Little battle going on for 9th place. James Wenzel just got by Seth Knoll, who's got a whole stack of cars lined up behind him now. So Nelly and co. Trying to
Mullins has had trouble in the back. James Mullins has had trouble in the back. Something happened to him. I'm not sure, but he's dropped many spots and quickly. I'm trying to catch it. I'm not sure, again, exactly what happened. But, he got loose off and just hard into the wall off of 4. Right at the start-finish line, he nosed it in. Was able to get it right in, back going in the right direction without much effort. But, yeah, he is hurt bad. Back up to the battle here. Teemu Toika Still looking awful fast, but gonna have to deal with Boyd Hogan. Hogan's looked fastest at the start of this race tonight.
Alex McCollum's just struggling a little bit, and there's a lapped car down low. That's going to force him.
Gotta watch out for those lappers. Oh, it's almost 3 wide there. Oh!
Hogan goes around
Boy.
middle of the racetrack. Patrick Moose caught up as well. Lapped car.
That was messy.
Indeed.
I don't think Boyd's going to be very happy about that.
Locked up the brakes, didn't he, coming into turn 1, which triggered all that mess because the field got wadded up behind Jordan Mackey there. And then they wrecked down the back straight as they got caught 3 wide.
Well, I should probably stop talking about drivers because I'm almost feeling like that's on me. I was just talking about how fast Boyd was looking, and now he gets in that trouble, and boy, that's really going to hurt the car.
How impressive is it that all 3 of those cars that spun basically did a full 360 and kept going?
Pretty much, yeah. I was talking about it being messy. It was messy because cars were darting all over the place. It doesn't look like it was that messy from a damage standpoint. You're going to have a few cars that were towards the back going to come in. Near went in. Mullins is actually going to stay on track, but Hansen, Laptovich, and Michael Watkins and Guy Sela all come in the pits as a result of that caution there. Like I said, Hogan stays on track.
Lucky dog, you can see him flying around the outside of the racetrack. Who is that gets it this time? By Mason Stiver. So he'll be, what, 2 laps down now, potentially? He will be 2 laps down, so he's got 2 of his 4 back, and he's on the charge back towards the lead lap. There's plenty of time for him to get there. Lap 77 of 250 here at Martinsville Speedway under the lights on the iRacing eSports Network. Most of your field stays out with a very short run in between caution flags at that time. You should get less out the pace car next time we come across that stripe. Jordan Mackey's going to have to go right to the back of the field, unfortunately, so fighting to stay a solid 6 laps down. Going to go right to the back and be almost 7 down now, unfortunately.
So Timu's up 1 more spot, up to 3rd on this restart. He'll start on the inside. That's on that last restart. That's where he was making all of his moves there to pick up a few spots, and now he comes back out after going in for a quick pit stop here in 3rd. Go, bud.
2 by 2, they come to the green flag then. It's out once again, and a good launch for your race leader. Look at Timu Toika fighting for that inside. Austin Yarborough couldn't cover him off, and he gets loose, and Patrick Moose into the fence, back up into traffic, collected by 2 more. Caution's out again.
Moose just gets nailed after it. The initial shot was one thing, but everything that came after it, I mean, the poor guy was just a punching bag sitting in the middle of the track. The Moose is loose in Martinsville.
Started with Yarborough getting loose at the top side of turn 2. You'll see from the shopper cam here. As he tried to save it, he just collected Moose. When you get hit on the front right like that, there's not much you can do. He got hit by the 7 and by Michael Jeans. Alex Huffman got up into Jeans as he hit him. And Max Cook's got a piece of him too, that 7 car. So they're all down on pit road now, getting a fenders hammered back into place. Up 83 at 250, trundling towards halfway. And we've seen, what, 5, potentially 6 cautions so far today. Your replays coming at you thick and fast, thanks to Modem Simulation. Lucky dog this time by going to be Danny Hansen to put himself back on the lead lap. And that'll be 30 cars still on the lead lap, despite having all these cautions. Everyone's managed to keep it relatively clean. A couple retirements in the way of Joshua Campbell, Jake Watson, and Joshua Adam.
Well, here's the fortunate thing. Laps tick off pretty quickly here. So once they get rolling, so yeah, we're fast approaching the halfway mark, but it's been an eventful race, and it looks like everybody about 13th back has decided to come on back in the pits and get more tires, get more fuel, and probably get a little more damage repaired. They've got time. Ryan, do they have a track like Martinsville in Australia? Anything close to it that's half mile, long straightaways, really, really tight and narrow turns? Anything you think of off the top of your head?
Nope. Dirt tracks, probably. That's about it.
So, some of the speedways, yeah, okay.
It's oval racing never picked up outside of Australia, outside of American.
Well, we're about to pick it up here.
We'll pick that up on the next caution, because there is an interesting point to make on that for our efforts in Australia, as Garrett Maines lures back to the green flag all once again. Can McCollum take it back away? He tried to judge the start, he misjudged it horribly, and that's going to really check out Boston Yarborough behind him. Should allow Timo Twinker to go up into second place, and it will. So he'll be thrilled with that.
Timu, Chevrolet ZL1 Camaro. Got that one of Alex McCollum right in the back door. Fight on screen though, Boyd Hogan in another one. He's been in a lot of them tonight. This one's with full complement.
Caution's going to come out for Jordan Mackey further back in the field though. He spun around us off the exit turn 2. Done it all by himself. Suing on that throttle loops him around. So we did try to get level racing going in Australia, Sean. Down in Melbourne, we built a little track called the what's it called actually? Oh yes, the Calder Park Thunderdome, and they ran anti-clockwise around the racetrack. They ran NASCAR there and OzCar. They had a few drivers from NASCAR come down under, and it didn't last very long, unfortunately.
Well, that is unfortunate because there is nothing quite like it. I went to so many short tracks as a kid, and I don't know, having been to the short tracks and having been to the super speedways and the intermediate tracks, it's just a different feel. It's why people go to Bristol. It's why Bristol used to be the most anticipated event twice a year, and why you had to wait your turn to go like 2 to 3 years at a time. You had to wait in line with people who were ahead of you on a waiting list to get tickets to go to Bristol's, because it's just a different environment, you know. Now, what's that going to be like now when we go back racing and the stands might not be quite as full? I don't know. I don't know how. Will it affect the racing? I hope not. It will affect the atmosphere inside these tracks, though, I can tell you that, because, again, there's nothing quite like a short track with the place full, the lights on, these cars, open headers. rumbling along and filling the nighttime air with the sounds and the smells of petrol. I mean, it's just, again, it's kind of a hard thing to replicate. You know, fortunately, we have iRacing. They've done a decent job of doing that. Yeah, they can't give us the smells and, you know, not that feeling of being there. But, boy, you can sure get in, race, and have a good time as we see, well, I don't know, 32 there having a little bit of trouble on screen. Jordan Mackey. Maybe he's having a hardware problem or just moving out of the way for everybody to get by.
Yep, let's go out the pace car. I can't wait. When
Okay.
I come to America, you got to take me to Bristol, Sean.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been to Bristol in a long time. It's probably been close to 20 years. I would not mind a trip back to Bristol. So, out here in Southern California, I think first place we got to go ahead.
The top of my NASCAR bucket list, Bristol.
Okay.
It's a
All right.
very unique little track, isn't it? The last great Coliseum, they call it. We're on a different type of short track today. Martinsville Speedway, the paperclip. We go back racing. And what a good launch for Garrett Maines. Matt McCollum fighting hard to try and take second and back away from Toyota.
Boy, looking to go 3 wide again. Come on, guys. Let's get this race.
That's Kyle Edgar coming under all sorts of pressure from Yarborough up top, and Boyd Hogan lines up behind. Oh, and a crash.
They're
as
wrecking
Matt
behind.
Yarborough up into the fence, and Michael Watkins gets a piece of it as well, and they stack up in 3 as they try to get by.
Well, they were playing bumper cars down there, and it was bound to happen.
So here's your repo. This is just a lap before, so we'll take it around and back straight away. Here you can see they were almost 3 wide for a second in front. Hogan thought better of it. Now, what happened to Ford Carper? 15 of Seth Nolan was left rear and out of the corner. Hard to see from that angle, but did Ford Carper chase him down the track and get into him potentially?
I don't know if Ford Carper actually ever had the car back under control. That's the thing. I think wheels were maybe spinning. He hadn't found total grip yet. You see him loose there, and I don't know. I just don't know if he ever had the car back under him there.
You see what he did do though. He had those rear tires were not going anywhere when he was spinning across the track. He had those things locked down, which is one thing you must do when you wreck in a car, especially on an oval. Lock down those brakes, otherwise you slide across the track. It becomes a much bigger incident. He now brings it down to pit lane to get the damage repaired. We are almost at lap 100 of this one. So McCollum back up into second after just about taking it back away from Toyota. Kyle Edgar, his charge continues 29th to 4th. CJ Lavere from 30th to 10th to 9th even. So they're your 2 biggest movers in the field. Done a very good job to get by that many cars in 100 laps here when most of them been under yellow.
All right. So when I come to Australia, what track are you taking me to? Where's first track I got to go to?
Surface Paradise Street Circuit.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, a lot of the tracks I want to go to aren't there anymore. So, and that's a shame. What's happened to some of the great tracks that used to adorn the Australian countryside? Do they call it countryside there, or do they call it something else? I'm curious. You know,
The
like
Outback?
Okay. Yeah. See, it's the Outback. It's not really the countryside.
Well, we have the giant outback in the middle of the country, but we have the bush. Well, the closest permanent racetrack I could take you to is about half a country's drive away, so there's also that. There's a couple smaller ones nearby, but I'd take you to see the Aussie supercars only come street track racing in my state. Here we go, we're going racing again. Feels like a street track, this track, with the walls adorning the side of the racetrack. A very tight field at Martinsville. Garrett Maines will get to breathe some air out of the front of this field. Austin Yarborough checks up on the outside. Boyd Hogan and Seth Knoll running door to door down the back straight. Oh, that caution's got to come out again, though.
Oh, yeah.
Tanner Love comes into trouble further back. We'll take a look at your motor simulation replay. What's happened to him? Coming out of the front straight, loose on the throttle, tags the fence. Caution flies. We'll go to a break here on the iRacing Esports Network. Thanks to SimSpeed TV. We'll come back for the restart at Martinsville.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing
Race lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press, sideways, what a save.
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
I'm going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Makashube, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Welcome back to SimSpeed TV on the iRacing Esports Network. Our coverage of the Friday night, 9 PM Eastern time slot of the NASCAR iRacing Series here on iRacing from Martinsville under the lights for the first time in history on the iRacing Esports Network, actually. One to go for our 22nd restart of the... No, not quite. What is it, 9th restart of the day?
2. We have a policy over at the Global Sim Racing Channel, and that is to not do math, and I will not take that lightly, and I will not bring it here either. So,
all right, let's go back a racing. Let's get a good green flag running here, fellas. Garrett Maines, Alex McCollum, your front row. McCollum judged the start well, but his secondary phase of launch wasn't quite as good. He'll find a hole in line, though, to slot down ahead of Timo Tweaker and Kyle Edgar, who might be up into 3rd place for a moment here. Oh, a bit of contact with Tweaker on the entry to 3, and look out for Hogan through the middle.
Tweaker in a real battle there. Gonna get past on the outside. They're gonna gang up on him. He had a bad exit there off of 4. Gonna lose both those spots to Hogan and Edgar.
See a couple of... Oh, Tweaker, hold on to it, buddy. He just about saved it. Yarborough into the back of him. I see in the YouTube chat a couple of our unfortunate drivers from this evening so far. Patrick Moose and Michael Jeans have both transitioned from racetrack to spectators' seats. Unfortunately, after that early retirement, as Martinsville bit hard at them, their cars are now toast, so hello to you. In fact, they're involved in the same crash.
Yes, they were. We watch Cookson right now. They get around the car. That was Adam Jocelyn down there on the bottom that they kind of freight trained by. Here's Lapsevich on the screen. Careful, boys. Seth Knoll really loose off. Lapsevich going to get that pass done.
Good move then, puts himself back up inside of the top 10 after his little moment earlier on in the race. James Wenzel there getting a bit loose out of turn number 4. Maines and McCollum have driven away from third place, a 2-second margin back to Boyd Hogan there in third ahead of Carl Edgar. And Timo Turkey at top 5. Side by side, David Kolb up on the top of the racetrack. He's got Seth Nolan was inside. This is just behind Lapsevich, just behind, there you are on the screen. Noel trying to take away 11th place. And Kolb's missing a rear bumper on that car, if we take a look here as he goes by.
Yes, very much so. Yes, the rear end is gone on that Camry, and, well, they're not replacing it. The pit crew has revolted and said, nope, you carry on without. So there you go.
Well, Kyle Busch proved at Bristol last year that you don't need a rear bumper to perform well. Came from a lap down and almost won the race after that. I think the iRacing physics are pretty close to that. Rear bumper doesn't affect you too much.
Mulla's still...
Not on these tracks anyway.
Sorry, Rye, but Mulla's still on the prowl back here after getting in trouble earlier, and Mullis is up 13 spots in this race. And again, remember, he was, what, second caution I think he was involved in? And he's worked his way back up here, just outside the top 10, still picking up spots, holding off some angry company behind him in Love and Keneally.
You said Mullis or Mullins?
Did I say Mullis? I didn't mean... Okay, so here's the deal. Mullis, they used to run in the same league together. I used to have to call them. And we, WSU, we Stand United League, back, this has got to be 4 or 5 years ago, but I've made this mistake before, and I feared it would happen tonight. It did. And I'm sorry, James, I really am. He goes by Jimmy, by the way.
Just back there, you see side by side up on the top of the racetrack, the 24. Going to lose out to the 39 down the back straight into turn 3. No defending that for Kyle Edgar. That was Max Cookson who got 5 on the inside there. Then James Wenzel tucked up just behind these guys. In fact, a few people crawling away into the back of this battle pack, with Trade and Lapsevich, Seth Noel back there too.
Well, here's the train we wanted, so it's the train we got. They've got a nice green flag run under them, and yeah, come on, we're not really talking about a no-hitter here at this point, so it's okay for me to say that they've got a green flag running. You know, finally, tires, fuel, all are going to become a factor, and I did it. Can I leave now? Can I leave now? I'm trying to talk my way out of the booth. I'm obviously trying to talk my way out of the booth.
Trust me, the only thing worse than you is Jay having to compensate.
Right, and so Seth Knoll, who has been talked about way too much, in my opinion, at this point, and not for all the right reasons, he spins it. Honestly,
good spin. 10 out of 10.
Was. Well, I hear there might be some controversy on that. I hear the judge from Singapore has given that a 3.3, so we'll have to debate that. Possibly, maybe that judge's name was Wayhan. I don't know. Anyway, McCollum in the pits, and well, Ryan, expect to see them all come down here. I think, yeah, that makes sense for me. Huffman on his way. Here they come.
Whole field down on pit road, and then And coming back out, it will be Mains McCollum once again, head of the field. No big changes up to there. Who stayed out of anyone, if anyone? Looks like just a couple of laps cars. They're going to get a wave around in between the leader and the pace car now. Good news for all these cautions. Some of the guys that are sitting down on pit road getting damage repaired can get back out on the racetrack with a lot less laps down than they potentially could have been. Joshua Campbell, 16 laps down out there on the racetrack. Michael Jeans is still getting his car repaired. He's currently 38 down. Patrick Moose has officially retired from the race though. He's 42 down. So 3 official retirements in Moose, Watson and Adams.
Well, this is a season-long journey through most of the year, so it's a good thing to get back out and race if you can. Certainly race as much as the car will let you. And unfortunately about Martinsville is that you do beat it up so hard here, sometimes it won't let you race again. I mean, you may get that repair and you get back out and you decide, you know what, I can't handle this beast.
Should get that 1 to go signal up there on the pace car. In fact, it's out already. Alright, let's try again. We've gone past halfway in this one though. We're into the second phase of this race. 123 or so to go. Out of turn 4, we go racing once again in Paperclip. We'll restart for Mains. Once again, very hard to get a good shot in iRacing, no matter where you are, what track you're in. Fighting hard for third, Hogan and Toyka. And the caution's going to come out straight away, something further back again. So, now for the 12th time today, Michael James is going to have a little chat to us here. Welcome to the booth. It's been a tough race for you, hasn't it, so far?
It's been a tough week for anybody that has tried to race, Mark.
Yeah, it's one of those things. You come into these short tracks and it seems to be either one of two extremes. A fantastic race or races like these where you get a couple green flag runs in, but there's always something further back or towards the front. All it takes is one slight mistake on these tracks, and it is quite tricky out of the corners.
It is. It's really slick. I think part of the problem is just, we had one good season last year with the high downforce package on the short tracks, and people coming back to the low downforce package. I'm gonna say that's part of the problem. People just got used to all the grip, so it's making it a little harder this season, but it's much more fun.
100%. I mean, you're going from 550 horsepower at these tracks longer than a mile to 750 horsepower of this track, and you're spending a lot more time going from a low speed to a full throttle than you're out those bigger tracks, so it's very difficult to keep the car straight. In terms of you're still in the race, you're still sat down on pit road, you're 43 laps down now, but still over 100 to go. How long have you got left on those repairs?
Let me see. We're digging in. I got about 10 minutes left. They keep the pace up. I'm not going to lose too much. Just try to get out, get some more laps in, maybe pass a few more cars. I did pretty good in yesterday's day race. I got 5th in yesterday's day race, so I got my points for the week. I would just have fun, try to improve on that if I could, but if not, just be out here, have fun, support the team.
Hey, Michael, it's Sean here. Buddy, fellow Texas member, what part of Texas you in?
I am San Antonio, Texas.
San An, man. I love that town. Woo, boy, we have to share some stories. I'm up from Dallas way, so That nice little 5.5, 6 hour trip to San Antonio is one I know very well, sir, down I-35. They still got that highway they got that highway all torn up still.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it's bad. I got my daughter lives up in Corsica. I'm up that way all the time. Of course, I usually come to the racetrack twice a year when they're open.
Hey,
Michael, great talking to you, buddy.
Then. We'll probably have a chat to you, hopefully in the coming weeks, hopefully for better reasons, Michael. We'll leave you to it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the broadcast. Y'all do a good job. Team Legacy Esports, Bobby Dale Jr. Enjoy it.
Cheers. So, back under green flag conditions then.
Teemu back to fighting again.
Yeah, status quo out front, but Timo and Toyota still on the thick of it. With Wood Hogan on his outside, Cookson battling hard with Yarborough behind as well.
Oh, man.
Oh, things are bad.
Yarborough just really all over the place there. Trying to get some heat in the tires, but big trouble.
He got that fin spinning up out of turn 4, wheeled it right down to the inside. Fenton somehow kept it straight. He loses 2 spots for his troubles, but good on you for saving that one. What a
save. Yeah, what a save. That was the save of the race right there, because that was almost caution number 37, so. I'm just going to choose random numbers at this point, Ryan.
Yep.
As random as the caution flaps have been, I really don't know.
Timo Twigger fastest lap of the race that time by a 19.142. Flying out there on the number 8 machine. 1.2 off your race lead at the moment.
You should see him drive a Nissan GTP. He's pretty fast in that too. You know, honestly, until I started covering NIS with you, I thought all he raced was a Nissan GTP, and then I found out he's not a bad cup driver either. I'm sitting back here struggling, trying to pick up some spots, get back into this race, but find some stuff stuck up on the outside.
Battle for 10th place as well, just up in front of these guys. There's a 23-year-old way up the racetrack. David Kolb up on the top side of the track. He just slapped the fence down the back straight. Gave Robbie Kinnelly a big free kick and some momentum, and he loses out on the top 10 spot. Just tucked in behind is James or Jimmy Mullins. And they see each other there. Tell you what, Kolb's struggling coming out of these corners. I think that rear end is a little bit too light for him with that back bumper missing as he gets a hip check out of the way through turns 3 and 4. Really struggling at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, it is a struggle. Just hope it wasn't the. I hope it's not a struggle that leads to another caution.
Oh, hey, up into the fence again. Somehow didn't come down and clean up Mason Stiver, but someone else has cleaned themselves up in the back though, because caution flies. Take your pick. Who is it? Oh, no. Sela.
Yeah, and Sela sticks the landing as it just nerfs right into that safer barrier, as we'll see here on the modem simulation replay. Sela just going to lose it coming off, and boom, and it just sticks right there in the wall. He's spinning the tires, trying to get out of it, back it out, can't get it in gear. Might as well take the rubber off him.
That's going to bring everyone down to pit road again. Good job from James Mullins to get himself back up into this position. So too Mason Stiver, both of them coming from multiple laps down, back up inside the top 15 before this caution flew.
Some great.
Garrett Main stayed out along with Toyker and Cookson.
Yeah, and I'm curious. I mean, okay, so how long have they been out? Yeah, 21 laps on this run for them. So
if more people had stayed out, it'd probably be in a good spot. But it looks like Blake, Nia, Pistol, 5 cars have stayed out, and then it's McCollum, first car and 4 tires from 6. So might be under a bit of pressure here if we get a green flag running. And they're probably close to the fuel window too here, those guys just pitted.
close, not quite there. They're gonna need another stop. But yeah, we are getting close, and maybe our leaders stay out for exactly that reason, because they know at the frequency of the cautions we've had tonight that, you know what, if they hang out for another 20 laps, they can hang out up there and take care of each other. They're going to put themselves in a situation where they may not need to come back in. Again, that goes back to how much the caution's been out tonight. And, I mean, that's got to go into your strategy. You got to think about that. You got to contemplate it, and you got to use it to your advantage, too. I mean, you know, if that's the way the race is going, then you got to play the hand you've been dealt. And a lot of these guys up front, pretty smart guys, been doing this for a while, and I think we'll be okay. So we'll see here. I don't think they're going to get run over with those tires, to be honest with you. I mean, again, they're not that old. They're just over 20 laps, and
yeah.
So we get the 1 to green here.
Where we visited next week for this series?
Yeah, we're off
Nowhere.
next week. Yeah, well, I did hear there's a chance we might go to Teletona, but I'm not sure about that. So I think that's an Australian track I've heard of before.
Well, this is your last chance to grab a win on this broadcast for a couple of weeks, fellas, so make it count. Garrett Maines, Timo Toika, your front row, back to the green flag. That outside was rolling a couple cars deep, but nowhere to go behind Blake Neer. Look at Yarborough, shoots through the middle, takes him 3 wide through 1 and 2. And Neer going to drop a bunch of spots quickly.
Near all the way up the track.
McCollum, first car, fresh tyres, up there in 4th place behind Cookson and Toyka. He's got nowhere to go behind those guys. Oh, Cookson!
He clipped him. He clipped Toyka.
Clipped the apron, clipped Toyka. They kept it straight. Someone else didn't. Caution's out.
Wow.
Mason Stiver, after getting back on the lead lap, runs into an issue. But he'll at least stay on the lead lap this time. Won't go a lap down. What happened to him? Okay then. Let's have a look at this from another angle. 1 ball to 10 or love. He broke real early.
He did seem to break a little early, and I wonder if that's because he wasn't sure if the car inside it was going to, you know, come up the track on him, and maybe that was more of a let me break in a little bit earlier so I don't get run into here, and that, of course, causes confusion behind him. So we'll just call that a racing deal. I certainly don't think he brake checked him, but he brake checked him. I mean, because he, again, thought he was in danger. So it can be a bit instinctive at times. You make a move that maybe you didn't need to make, but you in the moment you thought, well, this guy's going to slide up the track on me. I got to get out of the way. So, especially at a place here like Martinsville, we've been talking about all night.
If I had you to my inside, I'd be trying to get the other whole side of the damn racetrack.
You better. I'm put you in the wall.
Next race for this series is a doozy. 600 miles around Charlotte Motor Speedway in 2 weeks' time. Hey, we might need you back on the comms block for that one alongside myself and JP. Sure. That's going to be a long old race.
Oh. Don't I have other Coke 600s to call that weekend or
I've
to
got one to
produce?
call next week.
Oh, geez.
The
This is
major
that time of
series
year. Yeah, this is
back on
that
the
time of
iRacing
year.
Sports Network.
Yeah. Yeah, we have
And the Indy 500 as well.
Jeez. I think I'm racing in your Indy 500. I think.
Oh,
I don't know.
God. Well, that's a guaranteed 5 cautions.
It might be. I might be. I don't know. I don't have the time to do those silly things anymore. So, did I say that? I didn't say that.
The
I
silly
love to
things
race.
that pay your bills.
I race with my mouse now. It's great. I take screenshots with my mouse and try and get around dirt tracks. It takes me like 30 minutes. It's crazy.
Sean and Jay are proof that if you are an avid racer and thinking about getting into broadcasting, don't do it because you'll lose your racing. Sean races on a mouse and Jay races with a controller. These guys, though, I'd say all of them, they're running on a wheel and pedals at home because this is top split of the NASCAR iRacing Series and it's back green again. Toyota a bit high through 2.
He is. Boy, he was so close to the wall right there. And Yarborough is still just loose. That car is just wild and dancing all over the place. And the fenders are still straight on it. I don't know how. He looks intense, too, inside that visor. He's locked in.
Clear visors, of course, for your
Well,
virtual
nighttime.
drivers in
It's
the
night.
car seat at night time. Yeah.
You want the clear visor at night. You absolutely want the clear visor. Or you want the blue blocker visor. I don't know if you know what that is, but anyway.
Assuming it's...
Look it up. Google,
Oh,
Google.
McCollum gets a hit from Edgar and he
No.
spins it around
He's
through
right.
3 and 4. And he's going to be collected by the 16. He kept it off the fence, but Wesley Pistol somehow hit him.
And I'll tell you what, the tap that McCollum got was so slight. Yeah, I don't know why he hit him, but he was on the binders. But the tap that he gets, that McCollum gets, is just the lightest tap ever. You'd almost accuse it of being net code, honestly. I mean, it almost looks like he doesn't hit him, but I guess it was just that little tap right there was enough to keep the car going around.
Let's
And that wasn't bad. It was that right there. Bam.
get an on board from Pistol because
He panicked?
inexplicable how he managed to hit him.
Well, inexplicable might be that University of Tennessee T on the front of that car, but anyway, I digress. But yeah, you know what? I think he jammed on the brakes and it just shot to the right on him. Unfortunately, I don't think that was intentional. I just think he was a little hot, and when he realized he was too hot, he jammed on the brakes and it shot off to the right on him.
Awkward spot for contact being made to McCollum's car too, right around the wheelhouse of that rear tire. Might do some internal damage to the car. Hopefully it's all good though, because it was still relatively light contact in the grand scheme of things, but sure he would prefer no contact at all. He's back out on the racetrack though, so no required repairs for him at least.
So Ryan, you don't realize that I may have just started a really, really big national incident here in the United States by calling out the great University of Tennessee and the Volunteers. They have legions of fans, and I just made a bunch of really, really angry. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So
This is why Sean lives at the top of a very big mountain, so that no one can get to him.
that's right. That's right. I always like to take a defensive position, and there's no better position than 7,000 feet. So there you
And
go.
I hear he's got about 12 bedrooms too, so even if you do get to him, good
Yep.
luck finding which bedroom is in.
Exactly, right? So we have a literal fortress here, Ryan. Fortress. Just a fortress of solitude and
Loneliness.
yeah, and loneliness. Exactly. Yes, lots of loneliness. Thank you, Ryan. Hey, at least I don't play with my toys anymore, okay? All right. Just let's be clear.
Alright. We're not going to relay what our director's saying behind the scenes. Let's go back green.
Oh, is Mike's not on? I thought it was on.
Good job for your top three again. CJ Lavere up into 5th place for the first time today. As it looks like Yarborough pinched the brake.
Yeah, he did.
So those telltale smoke signals and tyre tracks on the racetrack when that happens.
I would go back to what I said a few minutes ago. Yarborough's just been wild, man. He has. But he's still up front. So for all of that, he has still managed to have tremendous pace here, and he's really separating himself from Edgar now. And working hard on Toyota. I want to work too hard, though. We still got a long way to go. 84 laps here at the stripe.
Blake Neer getting by David Kolb as well, just behind these guys for 8th place on the racetrack. 9th place, sorry. He makes that one stick. Alex Huffman, he got a lot of pressure from Montelli. James Mullins shoots to the inside of the track and going to lose a spot to Cookson. And Pedro Mega trying to capitalize too.
Just up in front of them, Montanelli having a battle here with Huffman. Huffman with some serious damage on the right front of the car. Still makes it work. Gets by Montanelli. Now Montanelli opening the door here for Cookson. Here comes Cookson, and he's going to clear it. So Montanelli really, really suffering right now up on that top line. What did I say? Huffman.
That's Huffman struggling up on the top.
Yeah, it's Huffman.
Got
My
this
bad.
spot.
I don't have all the same numbers on here. It's very frustrating, to be honest with you.
Going to lose 3 spots then as the 25 Stiver gets by. A pinch break from Montanelli. A couple cars up the track, and he will lose out now for James Mullins. And Mason Stiver as well on the recovery drive, 2nd time today. Oh, bit of contact to the right rear after Montanelli came down the racetrack. Mega now on the bottom side of Huffman, drifts up the track, dead left door. Huffman locks it down and saves it. Will stay green.
I want to
At the
say
expense of him losing a bunch of spots.
I think he had 4-wheel lock, literally.
Good job.
Damn good job. I thought the car was stopped completely there for a moment. He somehow saves it. Cobb still hanging in there.
Look at the battle for 8th place. CJ Lavere has got Blake Neer to his inside. Neer starting to make some progress off this most recent restart. Both of them a bit wide through turn 2. Max Cookson's just behind as well.
Yeah, Max had his share of troubles, but he is finding his way back here into the top 10 now. And, well, he's got some more good spots in front of him. Just hang on.
There's the move for Neer. And as he does that, it opens the door for Cookson to go by 2. And Lavere will cut down to the bottom line just before David Kolb and James Mullins get there. In fact, Cookson's going to attack Neer straight away. He's got some good car pacing.
I mean, Cookson's had a good car all night. He's just been in trouble. It hadn't always been pretty. Yeah, look at that. Almost getting run over there. Blake Neer, CJ Lavere all over the rear bumper.
Couple cars in this group struggling just a little bit on certain places on the racetrack at the moment. James Mullins trying to do a workover on the back of David Kolb's car. Just made a mistake off the extra 4 and loses a couple crucial car lengths. Mason Stiver will close up to these guys soon as well. He's up into 14th place now. You know what's interested me so far in this race? Nothing to do with the racetrack. The number of professional drivers that have decided to come and watch this in the iRacing server. A couple of interesting names that propped up in the little iRacing text box.
Well, don't out them. Don't out them. They're there because they're just people and they want to hang out, and they could be spotting for somebody, which is, you know.
Well, that's the point I was going to make.
Okay,
A lot of these-
okay, well then make the
A
point.
lot of these top teams have been working with professional drivers, helping them get set up, and you know, seeing them help each other out, and the favour gets returned, I think, by those pro guys, helping out with the lines and potentially places that they professional like can see where they're lacking, you know, the sim guys.
And of course, there are several professional drivers who have invested in and have Coca-Cola e-NASCAR teams. So, again, a lot of conclusions to be drawn there. So it is cool. It's been great seeing all the interesting names that continue to pop up on a daily basis on the iRacing service. I mean, just last night, who did we have on iRacing that everybody was surprised? Was that Murphy? Right?
Greg Murphy down in Australia is an iconic supercars legend.
But not an iconic sim racer though.
No.
Right.
He actually ran at our Seoul Oval track at Calder Park back in the day.
There you go.
Look at this on the racetrack. Yarborough giving a shot to the back of Mains that time by, challenging him for the race lead. It was 76 to go.
Yeah, and okay, so Yarborough has gathered things up here now, and he's ready to fight for the lead. And well, Garrett Mains has held on to it for most of the night, and he's warning him. The warning shots are being fired. The chrome horn has been unsheathed and is ready to be applied. And there's another little shot. Hello, how you doing?
That's 2. So the third one might be a get out of the way. As they battle, Timu Toika starting to close as well back there in third. Lapping a couple hundredths quicker than them last time by. Dragon Boyd Hogan with him is even quicker. Good battle just behind them as well for the fringes of the top 10, I think this is, Lapsevich.
Yeah, and how is he still running in this thing? He's had such a... I don't know, I thought he had a rough night going, and then all of a sudden he's back here fighting for top 5.
It's Carl Edgar there on the outside there. James Wenzel on his inside. Lapsevich is actually just in front of these guys, so point prove it even further. There's Edgar loses out. And Wenzel goes through, looking for a crossover as Wenzel tackles Ed. That allows Edgar to get right back on by him through turn 3.
Man. And then takes the nose right off.
So Yarborough's dropped right away from Garrett Mains now, and Toika and Hogan are all over his rear bumper. So Mains has got some breathing room out front, and they are stacked up for second.
Okay, so the longer runs prove what we already knew going into this race. The cars get really, well, they get really unbalanced, really scary looking here the deeper we get into a run.
These guys are shifting too.
Yes.
Check that if they were on board, but they are. Down to third gear at entry, up to fourth gear before they get to the exit of the corner. Helps the car rotate.
Yeah, I think as iRacing evolved, that mode of thinking has evolved because, let's just say a few years ago, maybe you didn't shift as much on a track like this. You kept it in one gear, but everything has become so much more technical. They've added so much more to the sim, so much more you can do to the set now that, well, again, you're really imitating what they're doing in real life. They are very much shifting, so and using special gears to get that done. Not special gears, but certain gears that every driver or crew chief has a preference at every track, and they've got that in their little notebook. They carry those gears around with them everywhere they go.
As Yarborough stacks these guys up, Triton Lapsevich closes in. He ran about half a tenth quicker last time by. Garrett Maines has opened his lead up to 1.7 seconds. So Yarborough all of a sudden has gone from fast to absolutely nowhere.
Kieran Pangy in the chat wants to race here someday. Kieran, go log on to iRacing. Get yourself a membership. You can race here tonight. Under the lights. Tell him I sent you. Sean Ambrose. Man.
Turn him away if he says that.
What's that?
We turn him away if he says that.
Maybe, yeah. The guys at iRacing might laugh if he mentions my name. So, who? I'm still watching. I'm keeping a close eye on Yarborough. I don't like the way this car looks. Maybe he just likes driving a wicked loose set like that, and a lot of guys do. I've never been a big fan of something that's just really, really loose and trying to kill you out of every corner. That's absolutely what Yarborough's car looks like it's doing. It's trying to kill him and hopefully not everybody else behind him. But it's fast. It's bad fast. I mean, his pace is proof alone of just, what he's been able to do this evening.
Garrett Maines is getting himself into the thick of the lap car action now. He's got by 2 of them, and he's got about 5 more lined up right in front of him. Just there on the exit of the corner. He'll be there in about a lap and a half, maybe 2 laps. And it's a wild group of cars. Who is in that group? Jordan Mackey, Zach Hudson, Michael Jeans is back out on the racetrack. Huzzah. He's in 32nd and 69 laps down after all of that. Some side-by-side action in those laps cars too. That's when it gets tricky for Maines here to try and get by. Should sort themselves out now though, right as he gets back of him, so fortunate for him.
I don't think this traffic is going to help Toyota and Yarborough at all. In fact, Toyota losing a spot to Hogan right now.
And Yarborough getting into the back of the 32 of Mackey.
Oh, this isn't good.
Through the corner. Toyota loses out to Hogan. Caution comes out.
I can't believe they didn't cause it. Oh, no.
That's right in front of where Garrett Maines was. Yeah, that's Danny Hansen now, who's spun it around. That's his 2nd time facing that way off turn 4.
Modem simulation replay here. Denny Hansen, number 28. I believe that's the number 28 with no number on the car.
Hansen has been really unlucky today in turns 3 and 4. It's the 2nd time someone's gotten to his left rear and turned him around at that corner.
I would suggest he stays out of that corner for the rest of the race. What do you think? Think that'll work for him?
I don't know if you know how racetracks work, Sean, but they might be a bit difficult.
Oh, you mean he may have to go through that section of the track again, is what you're saying?
Yeah, about 50 more times before this race is done.
Yeah, and so that being said, guess who's coming in the pits? Everybody. Why? Because it's, the smart thing to do at this point.
If we stay green, final call for there. Please talk English.
Words are fun. Words are fun.
Final pit stop of the day if we stay green, well inside the fuel window. Got to be careful we don't drive into that little water bundle on the Exeter pit road there. If you tuck's right up behind someone's rear bumper and they sort of just jink to the right of it, it's deceptively easy to drive into it.
What do you think they're talking about? I mean, honestly. I have some thoughts.
All I know isn't Dale Jr. and Steve Myers, but they are somewhere out there on the racetrack.
Oh, they're out here. They're out here. I don't remember where they're at Martinsville, and they may have moved them.
The hot dogs?
I hear that's a thing.
Hot dog stand?
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know if I've ever looked at Martinsville. I know where they are at a few places, but yeah, I've not made it my life's work to go find Dale and Steve.
Some have. Somehow.
I know it's a thing. I know it's a thing. It's not a thing for me. Hey, listen, I commend every one of you who spent the hours.
Week?
Listen, that has nothing to do with it, all right? I have a very normal, very uneventful life, and I manage my time well. Thank you very much. No, but I do think it's funny that people have invested the time. in actually figuring out where they are. And there are some other pretty cool Easter eggs, if you will, in iRacing. It's not just limited to Steve and Dale Jr. I mean, those of us that have been around for a while, we've heard stuff over the years, and then we verified, and it's kind of funny. So, but I'm not giving that away on air. Sorry, not gonna do it. I'm under an NDA to not do so. So there you go. That's my story. I'm sticking to it, Jay. All right. What do you think here, boys? McCullum actually stayed out. I'm sitting here. I'm looking at my timing and scoring and realizing McCullum's sitting out there on 45 lap old tires. What is the plan here as we get restarted at the green flag?
Garrett Main struggling and turned around behind.
Oh!
Gonna veer hard into the outside fence with the 22 and Mason Stiver as well.
How? Oh. Garrett Maines leads this whole race. This is not going to be fun, folks, to watch. Not unless you.
Well, he wasn't taking. They wrecked behind him, sure.
Yeah.
But he was going backwards. He got very fortunate. It was the 3 cars directly behind him that went around. He escapes.
Oh, he got, you know what? He got tipped by Yarbrough. Just a small tip. That's what sent him into the wall. On board with Mega there. That's the contact behind, but and that's and right in front of Mega after that was your former leader Garrett Maines, who had fallen all the way back as a result of that tip from Yarbrough. Oh, here it is. Yeah, we got it. There's the tip. Real close racing up front there. I mean, you don't put it on anybody. Well, he probably does. I don't. Good hard racing at Martinsville.
Lucky dog going to go to Alex Huffman. He'll get his lap back, and that'll be 24 cars back on the lead lap. There's 3 cars over 100 laps down. The joys of short track racing is if you go a lap down, you can get it back pretty easily. But it's also very easy to go many laps down very quickly.
Yeah, well, any short track, it does seem like the caution periods here are pretty lengthy, so you've got to be good with your timing. Get in there, get as much repaired as you can, watch where that... This is where a spotter really helps, you know. Someone actually watching where the pace car is on the track lets you know when you've got a lot of damage, and you got to play that game of getting back in every lap to get a little more repaired, and get back out. Spotter is really, really handy because the sim doesn't tell you when the pace car is coming. You can watch it on your relative and you can watch it at the time, but it's not like having someone in your ear telling you, okay, go, 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 and they've got it all timed out for you. So, again, another one of the advantages to having someone actually spotting for you in iRacing. Yes, the spotting system in iRacing works fine. It's very good. There's some great sound packs you can download for it, and people you can listen to and have a good time with it. But nothing like the real thing, man, having somebody looking out for you.
Can you do a spotter pack?
I might have done one way back when in the NASCAR Heat days, back in the early 2000s.
Does it get it wrong? There's a car outside. Do you go car inside? You clear on the top?
Yeah, I don't think I ever did that, but it does look like the pace car is off and we're ready to go again. Wow.
Early. He went
way early.
To 3.
He jumped to
that caught us, you guys napping.
Caught us napping. Side by side, Timu Toika, Austin Yarbrough. Hang on, Timu. Hang on a whole team. Jeez. They're both riding a couple of wild bucking Broncos right now, and there goes Yarbrough to the inside. Timu lost the grip. Still trying to get it back under him. Lapsevich up here. Gonna get that spot. Cookson.
Kohler gonna lose lead of the race. Avoid Hogan.
Oh! Pitch round.
Did he get collected? Doesn't look like it. But up front, look at that. Hogan had taken the lead of the race away. Got a couple of replays to queue up here. There's poor old Lapsevich at the back of the field now.
Gonna break poor Jay's replay machine tonight.
If Jay breaks it often enough, it's already broken.
Right.
So Les Lapsevich down on the inside will come through 3 and 4. And he'll get sideways out of this corner. Just lost it. Too eager on the throttle, spun it back the other way, and they all get around him. And Boyd Hogan.
Really, really, really good job those guys avoiding all that. Because he spun it right in the middle of the track.
McCollum just sidestepped. He left the door wide open through turn 3, and Hogan needed no second invitation. You see the crash behind. Those 3 cars that first got to Lapsevich were very fortunate. They were squeezed right up against the fence.
Well, this has been fun. It's been eventful. It hasn't been boring. It's not like we're sitting here watching a... Oh, I can't call out a track. That wouldn't be proper, would it? Okay. I'm going to stop. This has been an eventful race. And, of course, always good to work with you, Ryan. One of the true up-and-coming young commentating stars here in the iRacing platform. So,
well, I was just going to say an obligatory likewise then, but now I can't say that, can I?
Yeah, no, you can't. Now, I don't get to commentate much anymore, but I certainly enjoy doing it with you, and I love doing NIS. We've talked about it before. I mean, this is my jams. This kind of stuff I like to do. I like oval racing. I like cup cars. I grew up around this scene, and yeah, it's just cool, and really, really cool finally seeing the lights here at Martinsville. I don't think we've actually talked about that, and I know we've mentioned it, but we haven't talked about it. I'm getting to be on this broadcast tonight is actually, I'm seeing this like a lot of people for the very, very first time here on the service. I didn't get any practice laps in. Honestly, I didn't know going into this if they had switched this over to a night session or not. So, but it looks great. Again, iRacing knocks another update out of the park here with the update to Martinsville, and seeing all the new contingencies on the walls, and it looks like they may have even actually added some safer walls here, which is a good thing. I think they're trying to model more of the NASCAR tracks now where they actually have the walls. So that's again, a very good thing.
All right, half a lap to go. And for the first time today, restarting off of pole will be Boyd Hogan. He'll take us to the green off of turn number 4. And we go back racing at the paperclip for top split on the NASCAR iRacing Series here on the iRacing Esports Network. We're back under yellow.
That might have been the quickest one yet.
That
might have been... might have been the first one yet. Or not the fastest one yet. No, that was unfortunate. So, all right, well, we get to talk more. It's okay. I don't mind. We'll go on the modem simulation replay. Mason Stiver loses it coming out of the turn. Back it up a little bit more here.
He didn't even make it to the green flag.
Yeah, he didn't.
It is tricky to restart through the corners because you're restarting in second gear, so there's a lot of very high revs when you jump on that throttle. And the rear tires spin up very easily. Alright, with 30 to go, just under, who's your pick then to get this one?
To get this one or to bring out the next caution? You know, I'm going to be honest with you, and I've been on him more than anybody all night. Yarbrough got a damn fast race car. And Boyd, I hope you know how to play defense like the 1985 Chicago Bears, buddy, because I think Austin is going to just pound on him here on the restart and do everything he can to find a way around and put himself up in front of Hogan and then let himself play defense. The car has really looked fast. It hasn't looked stable. It scares the living daylights out of me, but I certainly wouldn't want to ever drive it. But he's driving it well, and I think Yarbrough got a shot at winning this one tonight.
You should be banned from making references from things that were about 20 years before I was even born.
I know, right? This is a thing that I do. I am certainly not playing to the iRacing demographic right now, and I feel very, very bad about that, and it's awkward, but maybe there are 2 people out there that might be entertained, Ryan. So, and if that's the case, then you know what? I'm cool with that. I'll live with that. I'll sleep good tonight because of that. So,
You got 2 supporters.
all 2 of them, you bet.
Yeah.
My mama, my mama,
and your girlfriend. No
yes.
comment? Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes. Okay, the answer is yes. Listen, I have ammunition. That's all I'm saying. So just be easy. Be easy.
I want to talk about ammunition.
No. Listen, we're getting ready to restart this race here, so I think that's a little more important here at this point. No, it is because, again, I think Yarbrough's got a heck of a race car. We're going to restart with just under 25 to go. Can they get this to the green without another caution? That's going to be really, really important here. We've got a lot of good race cars still here up front. Really, every car that's been here at the front is still here. They've stayed away from the trouble, and they're ready to race.
For the people watching, there's a massive inside reference that we're not going to tell you about, but I couldn't resist poking at it. So let's go back right.
Maurice Jones knows who the 85 Bears are, so I'm justified. There you go.
Boyd Hogan gets us racing, and Yarbrough immediately covers off that inside. Cookson wants it though, he throws it in deep, and the 24 went deeper, almost cleans up Toyota. Fourth near up wide as wiping the fence was Yarbrough. They're almost right down that back straight. Yarbrough's been turned. He's up in the fence. He gets collected as well by the 4 car.
Don't you dare ever ask me to pick anybody again and then go on a whole 5-minute soliloquy about how well they're going to do to finish this race. Damn it. That was terrible.
No, Sean.
I'm sorry, Austin. I'm sorry, Austin. I really am.
All right.
That guy's he's gonna hate me now. He's gonna hate me. I lost a fan. Oh, geez.
Tell us the story. Can't lose a fan he never had. Well, tell us the story of what happened to old Yarbrough.
That was savage, dude. That was savage. Care to ask me who's gonna win now? I'm not answering. You can ask me if you want. I'm not answering. But man, that hard shot, really, really tough break for him there, and go on board with Wenzel and see his look of it. He's going to just show up at the wrong time as the car's drifting back down. Wenzel was on the binders. There was just nowhere to go. He's probably going to pick up a little bit of damage from that, but he didn't hit him that hard. But we'll go back to the front. It's going to be Boyd Hogan to restart us when we get going again. And boy, poor Austin Yarbrough is not going to be part of that now. He's back in where did he go in the pits, or is he going in now? No, I think he's just settling in there in 22nd. But tough break for that young man.
I didn't have enough talking points prepared for, was it 17 cautions? 20 we must be up to 20 cautions by now. Definitely the most of the season so far. With the exception of this race, it's been some of the cleaner racing we've seen on SimSpeed TV on an oval. Quite some time this series. Best oval race that me and the director Jay have ever seen back at Auto Club at the start of the season. We saw 3 wide, a lot of the race at Talladega and at Daytona as well. We've seen 12 winners in 12 weeks, and this is week 13. Looking at your top 3. Good chance of being 13 from 13 on a Friday night.
Timu still looking for that win. Is this good? Yeah, God, I don't even want to say it. No, I'm going to be quiet. No more predictions for me, Ryan. I predict that when this race is over, that I may have a sandwich. It's the only prediction I'm making. Wow. Director just checks in and lets us know that was 20. Big 20.
First car in the field that has a win on a Friday night in the NASCAR iRacing Series is Garrett Maines off of 4th. He's the only car up inside the top 10 who has got a win. So, good odds on for 13 from 13. Let's see if it happens. With 20 laps to go. Back racing again. Few cars strolling into the grip. And look at Cooks into the inside, but he's got no momentum to work with. And up the racetrack goes Hogan. A mistake through 2. And then open up the inside. Here comes
Maines trying to get in there. Look, goes up the track.
Cooks 3 wide for the lead. Toyota to the race lead.
Uh-oh. Come on, folks. Support Fat Timu. He's in the lead.
Some mistakes then from Hogan and from Cookson for the race lead. Now they sit 3rd and 4th. Maines up into 2nd. So he recovers from the contact. A few restarts to go. He's back into 2nd now. Caution's out again.
The last thing these leaders wanted to see was another caution, especially 21. Boy, they had a good break going there, too, getting away from the rest of the field, and they just got checked up out of... honestly, it looked like they all got checked up out of turn 4 because of just damaged cars. Brought the caution out.
Jay's going to rewind it a fair bit here, he says. Hopefully it's not for one of his trademark super duper slow-mos, and it's not, thankfully. There was a contact up at turn 1. James Mullins up into the fence. They're 3 wide down the back straight. Well, this ain't going to end well, is it? Oh, there's a slow car in front. That was just messy, wasn't it?
Yeah, someone took the roll of stamps out there. For Kappa took the roll of stamps out and well, decided to do something with them, and there wasn't anything really there to do. So we have another caution. I've been reminded by the YouTube chat that the last thing the viewer wanted to see was another caution also. So sorry, folks, we have 13 to go. We'll be there soon. And you know what? I have a feeling the exciting or okay. Let me practice my words real quick. Let me slow down. I honestly feel like the finish to this race is going to be just as exciting as the rest of it's been. Expect them all coming across the line 3 or 4 wide in a big ball of fire, possibly.
Well, if he predicts a caution, maybe we won't get a caution.
Okay, I'm predicting a caution. There we go. Maybe we can get this philosophy to reverse itself and work out tonight at least once.
3 Grumite checking attempts up our sleeves too. Shall we need them? In terms of fuel mileage, these guys are run so much under caution since they stopped, it won't be an issue. But if we get a yellow flag before we hit the white flag on this run, or before we get to it, off any other restart, including Grumite checkers, we'll have to stack them up and try it again. We'll get the 1 to go signal this time by 24 cars on the lead lap. All the regular suspects up at the top of this leaderboard, though, that we've seen all race long. John Broussard up in 10th. Haven't seen him all race. Up 21 spots. He's propped up late and when it matters. Pedro Megas up inside the top 10 for possibly the first time. Robbie Kinnelly's fought his way back up there. Blake Neer, Kyle Edgar in and around that spot all race. Cookson up there. Hogan, Maines, Tweaker. Tweaker leading for the first time all day. We got half a lap left under this caution period. Let's see if we get this. Going right through to the checkered flag. Pace car dives down out of turn number 3, looking for that green flag in the air. Once more, it's paperclip. It's Tweaker and Maines, your front row. Green flag is flying once more. top 4 will be single file down into turn number 1. Blake Neer trying to drive it around the outside of Edgar for 5th. Not going to happen for him.
Cookson almost loses it off the turn. That's going to get Boyd Hogan all over him there.
Yeah, still 2 by 2. 5th on back. Big trouble there in 2nd place. Almost wiping the fence, Cookson. Hogan all over the back of him now, giving him a shot through the corner.
Toyota allowed to sail away right now to his favorite Abatoon.
In the fence again for Cookson. He pinched the brake into 3. Wide off of 4. Hogan goes through and Edgar wants a piece of it as well. Cookson is struggling at the moment. 7 laps to go. There's 7/10 of a second between your 2 race leaders out at the front of the field, and it's coming down as well. Hogan's released in 3rd. Maines is coming. It's under half a second between Toyota and Maines. Maines looking to go 2 from the last 3 weeks after finally getting a breakthrough at Talladega. He's been in this race all season long. Long time between drinks for him, but 2 from 3 might make up for that so far this season. Four to go as they come across the stripe. What's the margin at the line? It's 3.5 of a second. He was 400ths quicker last time, but he might be right there, close enough to have a shot at his bumper. Look at the damage to the front right. He takes a wide arc into turn 3, trying to look for the exit off of 4. Struggling for grip is Toyota, but he's got just enough now.
3 to go, and, well, Timu's got the bit in his mouth, and he's just striding for the line here to go take it 2 to go. I don't know if Maine's got enough to get him.
Damage on Maine's car might be hurting him here, because Toyka's is a lot cleaner than his, and it might be the difference. All the difference that matters as we come through turns 3 and 4. They'll see the white flag up on the flag stand for one more time around. Let's finish it on the green. White flag at Martinsville. For the final time of the day, down at 1 and 2, Toyota with a margin of just 2 car lengths over Maines. It stretches out off turn 2. Just one more corner to navigate for Timu Toyota. And for the 13th time this season, it's a new race winner. Timu Toyota gets it done at the paperclip. And Maines will settle for 2nd.
What a drive by Toyota. Wow. Spent the early stages of this race playing up on the high line and not having any fun up there playing in that sandbox, and was getting shuffled back. Had to deal with some loose race cars around him. Austin Yarbrough had to deal with his own loose race car, but Fat Timu comes home with the win. I support Fat Timu number 46, and some of you get that, and if the rest of you don't, then it's okay. You had to be there to understand. But anyway, congratulations to Timu. I'm really happy for the guy. I've known of him for many years now, and this is pretty cool to see him here to win at Martinsville under the lights tonight for the first time.
The old Polish victory lap by the looks of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Made famous by the late, great Alan Kulwicki. I believe the last independent owner to win a NASCAR championship. Owner-driver to win a NASCAR championship. So,
take a look at your race results then here on the iRacing Esports Network. Your race winner, Timu Toyota from Garrett, Maines. There in 2nd. Boyd Hogan coming across in 3rd. Max Cook to Kyle Edgar made up your top 5. Alex McCollum home in 6 after being at the front for most of this race. Blake Neer, Robbie Kinnelly, John Brassard up into 9th. Pedro Mega coming across 10th.
Yep, and we'll go on down to 11th here. It's going to be Danny Hansen, David Cobb. Didn't have a bad night. He got in trouble. He fought back from it. Adam Jocelyn. We probably didn't talk about Adam enough. I'm sorry. James Mullins. Yes, the Mullins man. We'll finish 14th. Matt Forcappa, 15th. 16th for Zach Hudson. Michael Baker going to take it P17. Alex Huffman 18th, Alex Montanelli will finish 19th, and CJ LeBert rounds out your top 20 in his Chevrolet Camaro ZL1.
You'll see the rest of the results. Scroll through on your screen there. Let's have a chat to Boyd Hogan then, who looked like he might be in a good spot for most of this race. In the end, Hogan third. Your thoughts on that race?
Eventful. That's probably the best way you can describe it.
You were up and amongst it, towards the front for most of that one, had a few ups and downs. Racing at the front was relatively clean, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, for the most part, it was pretty clean. I think it was more so, it was just, everybody's cars were pretty equal, but I mean, for the most part, everybody up there had a lot of respect for one another. We've been racing together for, quite some time, so yeah, you can always kind of count on having a good race with McCollum and Garrett and, Cookie, everybody that was kind of up front all night, and yeah, it was a decent race for us.
What were you missing then to get that final two spots and get to the top step of the podium?
I threw it away. I thought, so what happened is we were going down the straightaway and I missed a shift. I had time to go in fourth and lift my foot off the gas just enough to hopefully engage it into fourth gear, and it missed. And then I thought Cookie was gonna go low, so I was gonna fight him, try to get the drive off of the top, and then he lifted, which I didn't expect because it's not Cookie style usually, but that just kind of, I tried cutting down and just got loose and lost a spot. Never could get him back, but it is what it is,
Unfortunately, just short tonight. Sure, we'll see you back in a couple of weeks' time for the Charlotte 600. Going to be a long old slog, that one. You looking to get prepared well for that?
Yes, sir. We've been working on the car for a little bit now. Just trying to get it ready for the next week, and then for obviously the 600 in a couple weeks, and looking forward to it for sure.
Best of luck. Before I let you go, anyone that gets it done or sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Absolutely. First of all, I want to thank my roommate Steve. He's always been supportive, always watching the races. I can hear it going on in the background. You guys did a great job tonight. I want to thank everybody at Bobby Dale Earnhardt's Legacy Esports, GTR Simulators, Abruzzi, Butt Kicker, everybody that gets it done for us. Curtis Sawyer, obviously, everybody works on these cars. I put a good bit of time into them for sure, but everybody between Slip Angle and Bobby Dale Earnhardt's Legacy Esports, and yeah, obviously you guys for putting on a show.
Thank you for joining us, and best of luck for the Coke 600 in a couple weeks.
Thanks, man. I also want to thank David Mercer, John Platt, and Cale Gale for being on the box for me tonight, as well as my friend Caden Lapsovich. So shout out to those guys as well.
10-4, thank you very much. And let's have a chat to our race winner for the first time of the season, Teemu Toika.
Woo!
Oh, wow.
Congratulations, Teemu. Sean here. Sean Ambrose. I've talked to you before, long time ago, and it was in a Nissan GTP. So now you're driving cup cars and kicking some serious tail, man. Congratulations on the win. That was really exciting. What was it like riding under the lights here at Martinsville tonight?
It's awesome. The new update with the lights and the night mode really gives a new depth to the track. And for the past 6 years, I've driven here in the daylight, so now it's nighttime. So it's definitely something different.
Well, how does it feel to get a win? I realized riding around this track under the lights was fun, but you now become, Ryan, is this right, the 13th different winner this season?
In 13 weeks, sure is.
Congratulations again. How's it feel?
Feels awesome. We are really had a good setup this week. Drove really well, and we definitely got lucky with some stuff in the race, on the last 20 laps, where everything really played into my hands, and then I played the hand perfectly.
Now, listen, at the beginning of the race, you were working on the high line, and I'm curious now, was that because you wanted to see if maybe there was opportunity up there for you at some point during the race, or were you up there because you had no choice because they had pushed you up there?
Well, basically, you have no choice in the restarts if you don't get a clean way to the inside, then you just have to work the outside. Basically, if you're on the outside, you have to work with what you got, and if the low line checks up, then you can make a few positions back, but you definitely lose in the long run if you stay on the high side. That's something with the something that I really miss with the older time model, that where you could race all over the track.
Well, we never got a long enough run tonight to find out if tires would actually blow up on anybody. How are you with tire wear? Did they seem to go away pretty quick, or are you getting pretty good wear out of this tire model?
I definitely worked better than some of my competitors. I saw some drop in the times between me and then a few people that were either behind me or around me. So I'd say we had definitely a long run setup working for us, and I just wish we could have gotten some more long runs in the end, but I'll take it anyway.
Well, hey, you get a week off, or at least week off from NIS. I know you've got other stuff to get ready for, but great talking to you. And again, congratulations, man. Really cool to be here to commentate this one and see you win tonight. And I even got to talk about, your experience in the Nissan a little bit. So for the fans, for the fans who don't know, who think you're just a Cup driver, I had to remind them that you're pretty badass Nissan driver too. So congratulations, Timu. We'll talk to you soon, buddy. And listen, I support Fat Timu. Okay, so there you go.
Yeah, thank you all who watched the broadcast today, and thanks to my team Simsa Esports, and thanks to all the friends at Nexus Esports on the oval side, and see you maybe in 2 weeks.
Thank you very much, Timu Toika. That'll wrap us up for this evening, but still plenty more to come on the iRacing Esports Network and on SimSpeed TV. Make sure you subscribe to both those YouTube channels. The SimSpeed today is just getting started in about an hour's time, going racing for the Panorama Drivers Club at Mount Panorama. And then the Circuit XL Series starts in about 6 hours' time over on SimSpeed. Plus, plenty to come on the iRacing Esports Network from a variety of great broadcasters, including Sean's very own Global Sim Racing channel. Make sure you find us on social media at SimSpeed Esports Network on Facebook and SimSpeed TV on Instagram and Twitter. From all of us here in the booth, thank you for joining us. My name is Ryan Jones. Sean Arrows was alongside me, and Jake Kennedy was behind the scenes. We had a ball. We hope you had as much fun as we did. And we'll see you next time.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got rid of the outside, both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my god! Oh! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are going to want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go! Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?